The Russians have been put in their place. The Ukrainian flag was officially raised over a city in the Donetsk region. Ukrainian soldiers have clearly shown that Russian propagandists are not telling the truth about the so-called successes of Putin's occupying army. And for more information, check out our report. My name is Yevhen Sirov. This is the Glavred channel. Subscribe and give us a like. Let's get started. Ukraine's defense forces are currently maintaining the settlement of Rodynske in the Donetsk region under control, despite the occupiers' false claims. This was reported on the Telegram channel First Corps NGU Azov. According to the military themselves, the occupiers are able to successfully infiltrate the city. But there is a catch. They are detected and ultimately destroyed by all available means of the 14th Ivan Bohun Red Viburnum Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine. Combat operations are ongoing around the clock. Russia uses lies and deliberate misinformation as a weapon on par with powerful cannons and advanced missiles. Our mission is to resist the enemy in all possible dimensions of this war, the statement says. The military also published a video showing the Ukrainian national flag being installed in the town of Rodynske. This also proves that Russian propagandists are constantly and repeatedly lying about the supposed successes of the occupiers. Earlier, Glavred reported that, according to Yevhen Lysychuk, the commander of the 7th Rapid Response Corps of the Air Assault Forces, Russian occupation troops are currently pressing on the city of Mirnohrad, which is in the Donetsk region, from 3 directions. Meanwhile, in Pokrovsk, these Russian forces have become bogged down in urban combat. The enemy is currently employing a tactic of continuous and repeated infantry assaults. Small, organized infantry groups of the occupiers are attempting to infiltrate north of Pokrovsk during periods of bad weather, but vigilant Ukrainian defenders are successfully stopping these infiltration attempts. Let us recall that the occupying army of the aggressor country, Russia, has made numerous determined attempts to break through the Ukrainian defenses north of the railway in Pokrovsk. But all of these attempts have ultimately failed. Ukrainian military personnel also continue to remain stationed in the city of Pokrovsk, as this important decision is strategic. A retreat from Pokrovsk would mean the loss of commanding heights in the area. It was reported earlier that the occupiers currently also control approximately half of this city. However, the enemy forces are not able to freely enter Pokrovsk itself, because all approaches to the city are under the vigilant control of Ukrainian drones and any adjacent units of the armed forces of Ukraine. Ukraine established a new and significant record for the number of attacks on the energy infrastructure of the Russian Federation in December 2025. Such an unprecedented and extensive scale of damage to facilities related to the enemy's energy sector has not been seen since the beginning of the full-scale war, according to international sources and Bloomberg Analytics. And now more information in our report. My name is Yevhen Sirov. This is the Glavred channel. Subscribe and give us a like. Let's get started. According to the most recent estimates, throughout the entire month of December, the armed forces of Ukraine, along with other important components of the defense forces, carried out at least a total of 24 separate and distinct attacks on Russian oil and energy facilities. This represents the highest number of such attacks recorded in a single month since the very beginning of the war. The targets of these operations were oil refineries, crucial pipeline infrastructure, oil tankers, and significant maritime facilities, including fuel depots and port structures. Such a wide range of targets covered the largest number of facilities and the broadest array of strategically important elements of Russia's energy infrastructure during the entire period of the Russian invasion, notably. Ukrainian strikes included several repeated and coordinated attacks on maritime infrastructure elements, among them oil extraction facilities and offshore platforms located in various regions, as well as ports where significant fires were recorded on tankers and other vessels as a direct result of the strikes. This occurred against the backdrop of increased use of both unmanned systems and missile weaponry, which made it possible to strike targets both on the coast and in open waters. Analysts emphasize that strikes on Russia's energy sector have a significant strategic impact. They create additional pressure on the oil and gas export system, which is one of the key sources of foreign currency revenue for Russia's budget and an important source of funding for Moscow's military operations. The impact of such attacks, under conditions of international sanctions and already weakened sales markets, leads to a further decrease in petrodollar revenues, which immediately affects the Kremlin's economic capacity. This is not the first instance of significant attacks on energy facilities. Back on November 25th, there were reports of record drone strikes on Russian oil refineries and tankers, which also indicated increased pressure on the enemy's energy sector throughout the autumn and early winter. The intensification of such operations is taking place against the backdrop of escalating hostilities along the entire front and active attacks from both sides. In December, Russia continued to carry out massive missile and drone strikes on Ukraine's energy and civilian infrastructure, which led to widespread power outages in Ukrainian regions and created difficult conditions for providing the population with electricity services. At the same time, such operations demonstrate a shift in approaches to conducting the war. Modern, highly advanced and high-precision weapons, unmanned aerial systems, and long-range cruise missiles allow Ukraine to strike important strategic targets deep in the enemy's rear, thereby increasing pressure on Russia's economic as well as military capabilities.